Hey everybody, it's Scott and Heather. Welcome back to SJ's Lottery Models. And we finished the Henry J, or I finished the Henry J. So let's turn the camera around and take a look at what we got. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice, obviously, is that pink paint. And that was achieved through Createx Colors. Pearlized, what is that? Pearl Magenta. Okay, and we got this from Spray Gunner, so thank you, Spray Gunner. Little plug there. Okay, so we'll start with the engine. Turn it around here. I will turn the turntable on in a moment. All right, so it's box stock. I didn't do anything to it except assemble the engine and put the decals on. The headers I heat stained, and that's my first time doing that, so I thought that came out pretty good. Painted the wheels to match the body color because we just thought that would be cool. Mm-hmm. Interior is stock, aside from forgetting to put in the rear seat. And I don't know where the rear seat went.
But that's okay.
Okay, so there's the rear seat. So, you know.
We needed to make it lighter for the race.
Yeah, we needed to make. Yeah, we'll say that. We didn't forget to put the back seat in. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay. So, yeah, the interior's pretty stock except for forgetting to put in the back seat. Stock decals, aside from pink slip. That was something that we designed in ChatGPT. Heather wanted to do this build. Heather, can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, when we were in Acme last year, they announced that for 2025 that it was going to be dragster. So
theme.
The theme for the Acme show is going to be drag racing. So I immediately thought of the Henry J. I had heard a little bit of history about the Henry J, and so I ran over to, I think Model Roundup was there at the time when we were at one of the vendors, and I ran over and I picked up the Henry J. And on our 8-hour drive home, I'm like, I want it pink. I want a pink dragster. We hadn't thought of the name. I was trying to think of different names, and then Scott said, well, what about pink slip? So that's why we picked it, why the color, and why the name. So do you want to give some details about how the Henry J came about?
Okay, so the Henry J was produced by the Kaiser Fraser Corporation between 1951 and 1954. It was meant to be an affordable car for everyone, and you could argue that it's the first economy car for the United States car market. It had a 4-cylinder or an inline 6, and wasn't very powerful even by early 1950s standards. And I think in 1952 they made a deal with Sears to sell it as the Allstate brand. But Allstates and Henry J's are virtually identical. Again, they were sold as an economy car, but they stopped production after 1954 because they just weren't selling well. You had no trunk access. You had to access the trunk by folding down the back seat. They were underpowered by comparison to other cars. Even the side windows were fixed in place and did not roll down. It had no interior and ventilation. They built these things cheap. and they sold them cheap. But even the base model Chevrolet at the time, the 150, sold for about $200 cheaper than the Henry J. So, yeah, they didn't do well. Now, guys that we talked to who remember these cars back in the day said a few years after they stopped production, you could get these things for a song. And I personally have never seen a stock Henry J. I've only seen them as drag racers. They were lightweight, they were cheap, and you could put a lot of engine in them. So that's probably why this Revell kit is, you can only build it as a race car. Okay, so yeah, we did heat stain the headers. When Heather said she wanted to paint this car pink, I thought this will look like a cute little cartoon pig. But I couldn't think of any pig names. But I thought, well, it's a drag race car. What if you're drag racing for pink slips? So I thought, well, why not call it pink slip? So the design itself, we put some ideas into ChatGPT and came up with that design. And so then we sent the artwork to STS Decals. There's STS right there. And how long did it take to get our decals back to us?
We sent it in March, and it came towards the end of June.
Okay. And these decals went on like a dream. So great job to STS. Heather's trying to get her thumb in there too. All right. So great job. Thanks to STS decals for making these and getting them to us as quick as you can. I know there was a delay and some stuff going on, but we appreciate it. Oh, that's a Revell.
That's a Revell, but it says if you snooze, you lose.
So, other than the pink slip decals, the rest of the decals that are on the build are decals that came with the kit. Now we'll stop it here. This front end flip thing does not work quite as well as they'd like, and it doesn't line up very well. We'll show you the underside here. We've even got decals on the shocks, the drive shaft, the front shocks, and I did dirty up the trumpet ends of the headers. Tried to get rid of some of the sink marks that were in the floor. Now it just looks like bad body work, which I'm okay with because we want this car to be a driver.
We pieced it, the driver that's driving this pieced this car together.
Yeah, that's our story. The driver of this pieced it together for cheap, but apparently he did not cheap out on the paint job because wow, that's pink and shiny.
It's cool.
So we used, again, the pearlized magenta from Createx, and we got that from Spray Gunner. And then we cleared it with, what did we clear it with?
I don't remember what you
Okay,
used.
hold that.
Okay, I will hold it.
Focus on the car.
I'll focus on the car, folks. And I just had them use the chrome headlights because I think they're cool that way. Okay. And we're not going to run it at... It's not going to be run down the...
drag strip.
Just on the drag strip. It won't be driven on a daily basis.
Okay, so that's our story. Okay, so we cleared it with the 4050 gloss clear from Createx. Also got that from Spray Gunner. So that's the Henry J. I'm probably going to display it like this because that lid does not, or that hood does not line up very good. We also noticed that this is one of the few models that I have built that actually has opening doors. and that door appears to be very saggy. Huh. Well,
but it opens and it closes.
Yeah, but it opens and closes relatively well. And it's a model. We're not going to be playing with it very much. So that's the pink slip. Sorry it took so long to finish it, but it's done. And if you want to see it in person, we will probably be taking it to Acme. So thanks, guys, for watching. Thanks for coming along on the ride with SJ's Lottery Models. Be sure you like. There's Heather's thumb. Be sure you like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you later. Bye, guys.